to our third and final topic. Hey guys, did you know that there was an open world Power Rangers game that never happened, but it still looks cool? um,
Oh,
this article was written from Kotaku. Ian Walker wrote this one, and I've seen it kind of pop up throughout my whole entire social media. So I thought we would talk about it, and then we'll talk about some 25 games that were canceled, and that might, or maybe not specifically 25 games, but we'll talk about some games that were canceled that might have been pretty cool. Power Rangers Adventure Project Nomad ultimately got shelved back in 2016. So Jason Bischoff, former Saban director and the guy currently in charge of global licensing at Funko, recently shared some fascinating information about a cool-sounding Power Rangers video game concept that never got off the ground, known as Project Nomad. Quote, I had hoped to, in brackets, develop an ambitious open-world co-op, in brackets, game that captured the energy, teamwork, and history of the franchise through the fresh lens, end quote. Bischoff explained in a detailed Twitter thread, quote, basically Arkham Rangers, so Arkham in reference to Arkham Asylum, Rangers, or Gotham Knights 5 years before Gotham Knights are announced, which Gotham Knights is the upcoming Batman series game with Nightwing, Red Hood, and Batgirl, I believe, is the thing. Let's talk about the 2016 AAA. This was the tweet. Let's talk about the 2016 AAA Power Rangers game that never was, Project Nomad, hashtag powered down. And it was like a six-page tweet from Jason Bischoff. But anyway, the Power Rangers franchise first arrived in the United States in 1993 with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which adapted the 16th season of the Japanese TV show. I didn't know that 16 seasons went by before we actually brought over the Power Rangers.
yeah. Do
Yeah,
you not know how the Power Rangers works and how things are made
I
for the show?
don't really know.
Basically, they're given they it basically I think they're just given a villain, and you have to make make a story around the villain. Like the Americans, that's what the Americans had to do. Because the Japanese did it by themselves, of course. So when they were given the script, you were just given the villain. Kind of what happens. No real script. You make it up. You play it out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they weren't given like a hard written script.
So I guess due to popularity, Power Rangers has been used as the basis of several video games over the years. Most recently, the legit, fantastic Marvel vs. Capcom style fighting game Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. It would only make sense for Saban, the company that owns Power Rangers, which will still held the right. Oh, there you go. Which still held the rights in 2016 to explore the possibility of turning the series into an open-world adventure that at a time when that genre was only growing in popularity. Alas, the project never got past those preliminary discussions. And here's more of the tweets from Jason Bischoff. Calling on old friends, we built the pitch we wanted to see. While these looks were never identified to be intended to be final, I think it's safe to say we were onto something compelling. And there's a picture of the what seems to be Red Ranger. Oh, it's all of them. So we got the Green Ranger, Red Ranger, Pink Ranger, Blue Ranger, Black Ranger, and the Yellow Ranger. They look cool. Like, those are pretty dope looking suits that they got here.
Yeah.
While early talks with devs slash publishers was favorable, ultimately time plus big shifts in our business saw conversations around Project Nomad peter out. These things totally happen. The industry is built on what could have been's hashtag powered down. And then we got some more pictures here with Alien Rangers design. What the hell is that? And then we got Alpha as well. Possible designs. Alpha 4. Quote, sadly, with so much circulating through the studio at the time, there was no bandwidth or budget to support Bischoff explained. What I did have, however, was an involvement blessing to I independently explore while early talks with developers and publishers were favorable. Ultimately, time and big shifts in our business saw conversations around Project Nomad peter out. End quote. Project Nomad would have followed a pyramid or a myriad. Am I saying that right? Of Rangers, a Maraud. That would be probably what it is. Maraud of Rangers, end quote. As they sought to free the planet Eltar. Is that it? Is that the name? Uh,
Yeah.
from unnamed occupying forces. While a similar plot line played out at the end of Power Rangers Turbo series. The Project Nomad concept art appears to depict an alliance between the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers team, their Alien Ranger counterparts, and the Zeo Rangers introduced in the fourth season. Okay. There's no word on how the game intended to handle many of the Rangers being the same person under the suit. Believe me, Power Rangers gets complicated. But my guess is alternate dimensions because why not? Quote, these things totally happen, Bischoff added. The industry was built on what could have beens. For now, it's simply relish in the amazing art. And if you can actually go to at Shadow Piper, which is Jason Bischoff's Twitter handle, and you can check out these pictures, which look pretty dope for concept art. Anyway, Tyler, you are a Power Rangers fan. How do you feel about this idea of an open world Power Rangers game?
It could have been great, you know. Thinking about the shit you could do, you know, summon your Zords. You know, you have that is a game. If it's open world, you have to. It would basically be the easiest way I can like convey how I feel like it should be is like the Avengers, because you know it's not like open world. You get to make your character. No, there are stable characters in the series, right? So you make it as such where you know you have like the Blue Ranger, you have their sort of like power thing going on. You kind of follow down the line. You know, at the end of the day, even though the Rangers are the Rangers and they have a Mega Zord, each has their own Zord. So it would have to be like that's like an alt of theirs or some shit where they call upon their Zord, do some damage or whatever. I would like to see how the implications of Megazords could go. But obviously we're not gonna get that chance anymore. Um, I mean, I don't know. If I had to pick one, I don't. I feel like everyone just does Mighty Morphin since it was the first one, but I have other favorites besides Mighty Morphin. So I would like to see one of those instead, get some shine. But you know, they're always gonna rock with the OG.
Yeah, I did not grow up with Power Rangers. I mean, they were kind of around, but I was like a couple of my friends watched Power Rangers when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't watch it until they were doing the whole marathon thing on Twitch. So I did watch a lot of it actually, and I enjoyed it. I think
I
it
was
was good.
working when they did the last marathon for it. I was back in 2018.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was working. So I would come home and watch some of it.
Um, and yeah, I could definitely it seems like a cool idea. I think Power Rangers definitely. I have no idea how you would do an open world of that, but I am always down for an open world like franchise game because it allows you to explore the world a lot more. So, of like behind the scenes stuff that you wouldn't see because the camera isn't showing you that or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, definitely a cool concept. Power Rangers being one of those things. It's also well loved by a lot of kids. So and it's also in two different cultures as well. So it's not just
Yeah.
an American thing. It's not just a Japanese thing. It's transcended into two different markets. Um, so yeah,
Hmm.
maybe one day Power Rangers will come back and with like a big game. It's not like Power Rangers don't get games, but it would have been interesting to see like
Oh,
a
they
big
don't.
AAA game like that.
They don't
Yeah,
get
they.
games. The last game that came out was a 2D fighting game that didn't really reach all far like I feel like it should have. I barely even played it, right? And it
Mm-hmm.
was something that flew under the radar. Wasn't really talked about. It was made with the same program I learned how to code in school.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's called Unity. Pretty sure was Fall Guys made with Unity. That's another conversation for
A
another
lot,
day.
lot of
But
a lot of games are. being
Yeah,
made in
that's
that.
what I was taught before I graduated. So yeah, but that fighting game is pretty well done. If I put more time into it, I feel like I really want to play it. Sure. Like I said, it's missing some of my favorite Rangers. That's how you get me. Like when I play Dragon Ball, playing my favorite characters. When I play like that Power for the Grid shit, I'm thinking, I get to play some of my favorites, which my favorite um Power Rangers like iteration was Ninja Fury growing up. They're not in there. It's just like Mighty Morphin and some other dudes. I'm like, I can pass on this one. Maybe I thought about playing it again.
Ashton, were you a Power Rangers fan? I don't know if you're.
He is, yeah.
Is he gone?
That's my.
Oh, I was muted this whole time. Fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, man, no one's let me talk.
Fuck.
Fucking, my childhood friend was super into Power Rangers, and he'd have me come over and like watch. He's my neighbor. Watched like the show growing up, and he also had that game on the Nintendo 64, the Power Rangers. It was actually a lot of fun. I also had like one of the Mighty Morphin, the red Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, like Beast, which was really cool. There was also birthday present from him, but I also got Sonic Adventure 2 that day from my parents. So good day. Good
Yeah.
memories of Power Rangers. A lot of good things.
For your love of Sonic.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%.
So what do you think about an open world game like this?
I mean, it wouldn't be hard to do, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Concept.
I mean, concept-wise, yeah.
Yeah. And you got like decades worth of stuff to sift through.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's still going on to this day. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I think that Nickelodeon I
stopped.
think airs it.
I do not watch them shits. But
And the thing is like Saban owns the rights to Power Rangers again, I think. So that's where it's like I think the quality went back up. I mean, when the movie came out, I thought the movie was not bad.
I can see them.
Yeah, the one that has what's that one singer?
Can't
Oh
even
god.
tell you.
Oh
Come on,
boy.
Camila Cabello, some shit like that.
No, not her.
Okay.
Shit, that's gonna kill me. Okay. Anyway. But yeah. So I thought what would be interesting is what are some other games that got canceled, and so I looked up some games, and it turns out that Screen Rant brought together 25 amazing canceled games that we'll never get to play. I'm just gonna run through the ones that we know. I don't really care about the other ones. So obviously we got to start with Silent Hills. Funny enough,
Yep.
Primal Target's name has the connection to Silent Hills because we thought PT was cool letters together because of PT, and therefore we made Primal Target. Actually, we thought it was cool because when we made the name Primal Target, we thought it was cool because it still had the initials PT in it. So there you go. So we'll always have a love for.
I was
Hideo
not there
Kojima.
for that. Just wanna.
Yeah, that was Christian and I doing that one. But we will always have a love for Hideo Kojima's game that never was. But yeah, Silent Hills. It was supposed to be a reboot, and we got PT the little free demo.
With Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus was supposed to get there, but then eventually we didn't get that, and then it was like, okay, well, I guess, and then Guillermo del Toro was supposed to be working on it as well, and then it was like, you know what? We're going to bring those all together again, and we created Death Stranding, and we got Death Stranding instead. So,
Yay, FedEx instead of Ford.
yeah. UPS, the game. I have never played it. I've heard mixed reviews. Some people love it. Some people just despise it. So, it's on PC and PS5, or PlayStation consoles. So, we'll see. But there you go. Yeah, I'll just read a little blurb here. The classic horror franchise seemed destined to return to its former glory until it was unceremoniously canceled by publisher Konami. Silent Hills was an intense reboot of the franchise by Metal Gear Solid creator Hideo Kojima in collaboration with Guillermo del Toro and The Walking Dead star Norman Reedus. The game's free demo was met with critical acclaim for its gameplay, atmosphere, and great scares. If you want to play essentially a game that is PT, play Visage, because Visage is literally just that demo expanded upon. It took the gaming community by storm until it was quietly pulled from all digital stores and canceled. Kojima would go on and leave Konami and re-team with Ritas and Del Toro for his upcoming game Death Stranding, which was released. So there you go. But I've heard that there's a possibility that Silent Hill might come back. So I don't know. Is that one that you wish that would have come out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially since we're all into
Absolutely.
spooky games, except for Tyler. He doesn't.
Pussy.
Play Phasmophobia, you my ass. Absolute same. Alright, I'll play Dead Space. Alright, fuck right off. I'm not forte. I gotta be able to kill somebody back. Phasmophobia can't do that. You know.
Silent Hill. Star Wars 1313. This was a Star Wars game that when I heard about it, it was absolutely an insane idea, and I couldn't wait for it. And then Disney bought Lucasfilm, which at that time was an interesting scenario. Everything that was Star Wars oriented was essentially that was coming out was then canceled, and whatever wasn't the movies was considered legends, so they're not actually real stories
Canon.
connected to the franchise. So anytime after the acquisition of Lucasfilm that Disney did is all a part of the canon that is Star Wars, which would be, to me, the most stressful fucking job ever, because you have to make sure you know where characters are in the galaxy that is Star Wars to know how to connect things together. Anyway, Star Wars 1313, Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm may have been a rebirth of Star Wars movies, but not for the games. Star Wars 1313 was a third-person shooter that would throw players into the shoes of a young Boba Fett as he begins his bounty hunting career. The game would be set in the seedy, crime-ridden depths of Coruscant's level 1313. The gameplay trailer blew fans' minds upon release, and it had a cinematic action of an Uncharted game painted in the dark and gritty take on Star Wars. Sadly, the game would never make it to release. Similar Star Wars games are in development, but 1313 seems to be long gone. And the report of that was also, side note that wasn't added to this, it was supposed to be an M-rated Star Wars game. But
That would have been sick.
But we will not be getting a violent-ridden Star Wars. So
Dude, it literally would have been Hitman, but Star Wars.
that would be fucking great. Boba Fett? You gonna play as Boba Fett? Come on.
Or Django, dude. Django fucking
Well, Django's
had
dead.
some crazy assassin dude. Well, yeah. Yeah, but still.
I want post all of that shit. Like get the Empire in there. Let me be Boba. Boba.
Boba T.
What do you think about that though? You would have definitely bought that game.
100%, dude.
What about you, Tyler?
Yeah, I would have bought it.
Mhm.
I watched that gameplay trailer many times when I was younger.
I would have definitely bought it as well. Another one is Gotham by Gaslight. Day One Studios, known for making Fear, started work on Batman video game that nobody saw coming. Batman Gotham by Gaslight would have been a third-person action-based game on the Batman comic of the same name. The world's greatest detective would track the infamous Jack the Ripper through the Victorian era, vaguely steampunk England. Prototype game footage was created for publisher THQ, who would need to secure the rights for the so THQ, who is no longer existing. So prototype game footage was created for publisher THQ, who would need to secure the rights for the DC Comics character in order to officially greenlight the production. Sadly, THQ couldn't swing it, and the project was abandoned with that early footage and a few screenshots being all that remain. And I do actually have that comic of Gotham by Gaslight. Which yeah, it is Batman hunting down Jack the Ripper, which is a fucking amazing concept. So there you go. Never gonna happen. And made by the Fear creators, so you'd have a horror team running that whole fucking game. Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
and I've played Fear, and that game is fucking weird. So, would you? Is that a buy? You buying that game?
Absolutely. I remember my uncle David. He's a fucking crazy Batman fan. Like that is his number one dude. He knows all the villains. He has a bunch of the comics. Batman's the coolest emo kid on the block to him. So yeah, he was telling me all about it when that was coming to fruition. He was so pissed when it got canceled.
Tyler, what do you think? Is this a buy for you?
Nah, probably just would rather watch it.
Mhm.
Not crazy.
Jack the Ripper? You don't want to chase Jack the Ripper around?
I did it in fucking Assassin's Creed.
He was in Assassin's Creed, yeah.
Oh, which one was that?
Syndicate.
The one that doesn't
Syndicate,
have a number.
with the twins.
The one that doesn't have it.
It doesn't have a number.
There's multiple of them.
I
Yeah,
know.
again,
It's after Brotherhood. Which
Hey.
one is it?
Syndicate
Syndicate. That's the
twins.
one.
in London.
I think I said it like 5 times.
I can't hear him. He's so quiet. So a pass on you. Okay, well, 2 buys, 1 pass. Did you know that Dirty Harry was gonna get a video game? Clint Eastwood's
No.
Loose Cannon Cop almost had his own video game by the now defunct studio, The Collective Inc. I've never even heard of them.
No.
Dirty Harry, the video game, would have been a third-person shooter in a sandbox-style map of San Francisco, while Harry Callahan would continue to track down the evil Scorpio. It was intended to be a continuation of the film series taking place between Dirty Harry and Magnum Force. Eastwood himself was supposedly heavily involved with the game's creation as well, but unfortunately, it all fell victim to the rush development cycle and financial turmoil. The project was in very early stages upon cancellation and has been abandoned ever since. How very unlucky for Harry. So there you go. Buy or pass?
Nah.
Yeah. I honestly think this
You're
is
the chosen one.
This seems like the Godfather like video games, like the Godfather, Godfather 2. By the way, Godfather 2, solid game. Great game. If it was like that, it you know, that would have been fun. Like if it came out on like the 360 era, I think I would have bought it. But now, I don't know if I want to play a Dirty Harry game. I'd say pass. Tyler,
Smash or pass.
Dirty Harry, the video game.
Yeah, I'd probably play it. Because like I said, it kind of gives off like that screenshot looks like some weird GTA kind of vibe. So, you know, yeah, I'd probably play it.
Okay. Project Titan. World of Warcraft developer Blizzard Entertainment is the king of MMORPGs. Surprisingly, though, the company's sci-fi MMO Project Titan would never see the light of day. The game would have taken place in the future where players join opposing factions in an underground war, living normal lives by day and conducting espionage warfare at night. Titan was said to feature a handful of vastly different combat classes, as well as non-combat roles intended to build realistic player-driven economies. Wow, it's getting late. When the project wasn't coming along the way Blizzard intended, concepts were salvaged and reworked into a similar and beloved class-based shooter, Overwatch. Buy or pass? This is it's an MMO, so it would have been essentially a futuristic version of World of Warcraft. So instead of fantasy.
Nope.
Pass. Okay.
I
Tyler?
prefer fantasy over futuristic anyway.
Tyler, what about you?
I'm passing.
Passing. I would have probably taken a look at it, like when it dropped, like if it was free, which I know World of Warcraft is not. But they'll probably do like a leveling system where you can play it for a little bit, and that's probably where I would have went for it. But yeah, I'm gonna say pass in general. So, because it's an MMO, I'm not really into them. Hey, you know, you ever wanted to play as a blind man, beating people up with a cane?
You mean Batman the
What?
Blind?
Well, Daredevil the Man Without Fear was a game. Long
Oh
before
my
Batman Arkham
God.
Asylum, Daredevil the Man Without Fear could have been the superhero beat 'em up that took the world by storm. Unfortunately,
Couldn't
the
fear
game's
'cause you couldn't
development
see.
Unfortunately, the game's development cycle was filed with rough patches, go figure, including graphic engine problems, clashes between the creatives at Sony and Marvel, and even behavioral issues with the development staff. Daredevil jumps
Ooh.
and swings his way across the city, even grinding on rails. Yes, really. It was planned to feature an
What?
original story that would have been loaded with Marvel cameos. The game was supposed to be released alongside Ben Affleck's led Daredevil film, but it would never be completed. The Ben Affleck Daredevil film? Okay, hold on.
That was so long ago.
Daredevil 2003? Oh my god. What? Oh yeah, I forgot Jon Favreau was in that movie. Oh
What?
man. Oh boy. Wow.
Oh, is he a lawyer or something?
He was foggy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Basically.
he was his acquaintance. His partner in Yeah. That's insane.
Yikes.
So buy or pass?
Oh god,
Oh,
that's a
man.
pass. That's some shit you play in the demo and like Target and not buy.
Yeah, especially if it's coming around in 2003, that is not a solid game. I would that's a cash grab. I'm very much going to say pass. Tyler?
I'm passing.
All right. Agent, which I think we've mentioned in past Bitcades, but here it is again. Grand Theft Auto developer Rockstar Games, you know it, has seamlessly abandoned Agent, an open-world stealth game steeped in the world of spies and espionage. Little info exists on the project, and only images come from concept art and early screenshots. It sounds decidedly more serious than Rockstar's other titles, and it's unclear if their trademark satire would have been worked into the project, indicating that would it be like GTA, where it's a little bit of comedy mixed into the craziness that is GTA. This would be more towards the LA noir style of things. The game has been a no-show for years, and its trademark has expired several times since the initial reveal in 2007. This led many to believe that the game has been quietly canceled. Oddly enough, though, the trademark has been renewed twice, suggesting that it may be stuck in development hell. So what do you guys think?
It's interesting.
A
I would
Rockstar
definitely be
game,
intrigued.
yeah, a Rockstar game of spies and espionage. That could be
It'd
pretty
quite
cool.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd buy.
It'd be very different.
Yeah, definite buy from me. What about you?
Yeah. I think I would probably get it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably play it.
Well, we're gonna go from a blind man to a guy that can run really, really fast. The Flash, the fastest man alive. Flash wasn't as popular in 2008 as he is now. Is he now? But perhaps, I guess in 2008 he was a little bit less popular. But perhaps his
True.
own video game may have changed that. Developer Bottle Rocket Entertainment set out to adapt the origin
Who?
story. set out to adapt the origin story of Wally West in the open world action game featuring a large map. Of course it has to be large because you're fucking running. Featuring a large map that consisted of both Keystone and Central City. Okay. I'm sure that people that are fans of the CW show know exactly what those are. I have no idea, other than that Keystone is a beer. The game would have utilized extensive running mechanics. Whatever the hell
that's a superpower is running.
Yeah, he's really fast. To properly account for Flash's speed and maneuverability. As well as Speed Force based. Okay, hold on. As well as a Speed Force based combo system, and even morality gauge. What? Unfortunately, poor management decisions would ruin Brash Entertainment, the game's publisher, as they would. As they wound up filing for bankruptcy before the project's completion. Bottle Rocket Entertainment would never get to release the Flash, and sadly closed down in 2009.
Unlucky.
All right, so you passed on the Daredevil, but what about a man that runs really quick?
Nah, I'd rather just play Sonic.
Okay. But what if I told you could do that, but in the DC universe? Look at this
Yeah, I
map.
don't
Look at this
care.
fucking map. There's no way this looks what this is. Like, that is a full-on Google map image right there with this. Okay, boy. I'm going to say pass. I think having a Flash game is dumb. It's like having a Hulk game, even though a lot of people love the Hulk game. But
Well, that at least makes sense.
you're a
just
big
beating
dude that
shit up.
crashes things. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, it's like the game. It's like the old like arcade game Rampage. Fantastic game.
There you go. If you
Like,
connect
that
to
makes sense. You just want to blow some shit up.
Yeah.
Why not?
Tyler, what about you? Buy or pass?
Nice.
Pass. All right. Well, let's talk about another Star Wars game. Battle of the Sith Lords. Now, I heard about this one a while back too, and I was really looking forward to it, and unfortunately, we did not get it. But another great idea left behind Disney's acquisition of Star Wars. Battle of the Sith Lords was a Sith action game by Red Fly Studio that would center around Darth Maul. Red Fly took inspiration from the Batman Arkham Asylum games, so it's a little bit after that then, framing Maul as both an expert swordsman and a deadly predator stalking from the shadows. It had an aimless development where LucasArts would reportedly demand changes to the concept with little forethought. After struggling to adapt to creative demands, LucasArts terminated the project without warning. While Battle of the Sith Lords is officially canceled, Red Fly hopes to use its prototype to pitch another Star Wars game to EA in the future.
Well, EA lost licensing for that, so good luck.
Yeah, I think it's coming up. I don't think it's done yet, but yeah, I think it's pretty much like I think it got like 2 years on it now. But yeah, this would have been awesome, but I understand why it was canceled, because eventually, this is spoilers for Clone Wars, so if you've never seen the animated show Clone Wars or intend on watching it, here you go. Or you've seen Solo, the Star Wars movie. Darth Maul comes back in both of those, and his whole arc gets completed in all of that. So it would be really weird to have a game like this come out that would have no connection to the franchise, considering that Disney wants everything connected to each other. So, unfortunately, we won't be getting it. Unless we get a pre-Episode 1 Darth Maul, which would be pretty cool. But
That would be fucking sick if they did that. I want to see origin stories of that.
yeah. So, buy or pass?
I mean, I'd buy that.
I'm definitely buying this. It's a Star Wars game, so definitely going to buy it. And it has something to do with Darth Maul. So
Yeah, dude, he was like the most badass fucking waste
yes,
that there was.
next to Boba Fett,
Killed Liam Neeson, that piece
he
of
did.
shit.
He did do that. What about you, Tyler?
Yeah, but
Just like to. Yep. Okay. I know it's getting late, but
Yes.
we're getting close. Starcraft Ghost, one of the most well-known canceled projects on the list is Starcraft Ghost, was to be a stealth action spin-off game to the strategy-based Starcraft series. Not only was it a bold new direction for the franchise, but production began near the end of a console era where its tech started to feel outdated. This resulted in several delays in its complicated development cycle. Many gamers and news outlets believed that it would never actually release, and they were right. Ghost was announced in 2002 by Blizzard Entertainment, wouldn't officially announce its cancellation until 2014 alongside Project Titan. So, I believe that character is in Heroes of the Storm. So, if you ever wanted to play it.
Heroes of the Storm.
Let's talk about Scalebound. This was an Xbox One game, so a relatively recent one. The Xbox One severely lacked exclusive games, but Scalebound could have been one of them. Developed by Platinum Games, a studio behind Bayonetta and Nier Automata, Scalebound was to be a role-playing game where players would team up with a dragon and to go on various fantasy adventures. Early footage features plenty of action and dragon riding, but sadly the game was abruptly canceled. Microsoft also announced the end of its partnership with Platinum Games. I actually did not know that. At the same day as the game's cancellation, and provided no insights as to why. Yeah, I remember this trailer, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Glad I'll have something to play on the Xbox. And then I didn't.
Jokes.
What do you think, Ashton? Anything? Anything at all about Scalebound?
Not really. Meh. Doesn't really have my. Doesn't really have my interest.
It has dragons and fantasy.
I mean, yeah, but besides that, what does it have?
I mean, it's made by Platinum, which is a pretty good studio.
Yeah, but I don't play any of their games either.
That's very true. So it's a pass for you.
Yeah, I'd have to see it, honestly, because like I know the types of games that they make, and they're typically not for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'd have to see it. It wouldn't be like a hard no, honestly, but it being fantasy doesn't make it, like a guarantee I would get it.
Tyler, what do you think? Scalebound, we were talking about this.
I don't know why he would pass on it. It seems like Rabbit Alley is basically like Skyrim or more arcadey. You turn into part dragon, you fight with dragons, and you fight with your homies along their dragons. That it's pretty lit. So yeah, I'd buy this.
Think so?
Yeah.
Okay. I would have probably checked it out. I don't know. Fantasy never strikes my fancy, but here we are.
That's true. You're more of a space age guy.
Yeah. Marvel Chaos. Marvel Chaos was intended to be an authentic Marvel Comics fighting game, but by the now defunct studio Electronic Arts Chicago. The game takes concept from Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects, a failed Marvel fighting game that featured original characters made specifically by EA. What? The game was meant to be an improvement on Imperfects with Marvel's exclusive characters only. The game only made it to prototype stages as quality control issues shut the project down back in 2007. Video game preservation site Unseen64 has dozens of screenshots of the game archived, some of the only remnants left of Marvel Chaos. Tyler, you're a fighting game fan. Would you have wanted a Marvel fighting game?
Not this one, because one already exists.
Oh, there you go.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
That's very true. They would have been competing. But EA would have made this one.
Definitely not.
That makes it worse.
I'm passing on this. So
I would never buy that.
Doom 4 was announced way back in 2008 and was initially designed as a cinematic take on the franchise with an emphasis on story. The game would have taken place on Earth, and early footage drew comparisons to other big-budget first-person shooters at the time, like Call of Duty. Sadly, though, despite the polished gameplay, early builds of the game felt too generic to move forward with. The game was canceled and redesigned from the ground up as a hyper-violent throwback and reboot simply titled Doom. Doom was released in 2016 and was met with fantastic reviews, with core concepts being entirely opposite of those shown off in Doom 4. I don't know if I would have wanted a Call of Duty style Doom game. That definitely did not seem fun at all. I'm glad actually this kind of got canceled, and then Bethesda revived it. So.
Well, it's good that it got canceled.
Yeah. I'm trying to look through some of these that. Well, we got Fez 2. You know the game Fez? Well,
No.
here's 2. Fez is a longtime indie darling in the video game industry. It was a small game made by a small development team that started to receive a ton of exposure before release due to the game's outspoken developer Phil Fish, as well as Fez's featuring in indie game The Movie. Fez was universally praised upon release, which makes it especially disappointing that Fez 2 was canceled because of a Twitter argument. Phil Fish had some harsh words for an equally harsh critic of his Marcus Bears of Game Trailers. Okay, so Marcus Beers of Game Trailers is what his name is. He had harsh words for a critic. That was it. 2 went back and forth online until Fish matter-of-factly canceled Fez 2 out of spite. There's a link, and I'm curious. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's like a whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Really
are you looking at my screen? I can't read this. But it's quite something.
It? No, don't read it out loud.
Yeah, don't read it out loud. But it's... this dude is wow.
Where is it? Here.
Just read the first line. That's all you need to do.
If you guys want to see it, you guys can look up the Phil Fish tweets about Fez 2.
God,
he goes fucking ballistic on this. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's something else. Anyway.
I didn't know all that.
Yeah.
Damn. I already didn't like him to begin with. He's just a piece of shit.
Yeah, those are some harsh words. It's a critic, dude. Get over it. Anyway, so rest in peace, Fez 2. Yeah.
Guy's lucky he was in rest in peace. You know what I mean? Like, let's relax, buddy.
6 Days in Fallujah, which has surprisingly gotten a revive of that, and we'll talk about that in a second. But military games are so common that they are often dismissed, but it's not what happened with 6 Days in Fallujah. Atomic Games set to recreate the second Battle of Fallujah at the request of Marines who fought there. The game was not intended as a glorification of violence, but as a respectful recounting of the horrors that those soldiers faced. Naturally, the game was the subject of media scrutiny due to the subject being such a recent event, with publishers Konami dropping the project of fear of associating with the controversy. While the game has never been officially canceled, it's generations behind in technology and will likely never see a commercial release. Now, this is an old article, so that being said, Tyler, this game is being actually released now, right?
Yes, they're working on it.
And isn't THQ Nordic picking this up? Or who picked this up?
I didn't see who the developer was. I forgot. I can do a quick search on that.
But I don't know very much about this game. I do know it was feeling with controversy and Konami dropping it. But...
Developer is Highwire.
Highwire, okay. So, but it is getting a release.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
still fighting the same thing they were fighting back then,
Hmm.
but they seem to be going along with it.
Are you thinking about getting this one?
I would have to look at it. I understand the controversy. I understand it well. It's a lot of, as with a lot of things, it's still more to be learned.
Yeah.
But of course, American soldiers and the crimes committed during that time, and then not everybody knowing the facts. Not even I know the facts. I just know it was not a good time. If you really want to know about it, I would suggest you just look up the Battle of Fallujah. It was how it started was wild. The events that happened were wild, and everyone should just do their research on it for sure.
Moving on to our third Star Wars game that made it to the list. Star Wars Battlefront 3. The infamous Battlefront 3 was stuck in development hell, and yet, even after all these years, it sounds so appealing. Footage of alpha builds feature minor differences, but the core concepts remain all the same. More characters, more weapons, more planets, and a feature-length story mode and battles that enabled surface to atmosphere combat, which eventually did
What?
continue into the modern day of Star Wars Battlefront. But nonetheless, actually no, Star Wars Battlefront still doesn't have that. What game has that? Where you go from? That's just No Man's Sky.
No Man's
anyway,
Sky.
yeah, that would be fucking crazy. Enabling surface to atmosphere combat. It sounds like the quintessential Star Wars game. Sadly, the game is built on decade-old tech and clearly shows. It's just a shame that all that hard work went to waste after the Disney acquisition. Star Wars Battlefront would be rebooted in 2015 with way more polish, way less content, and way less fun. I wouldn't have gone that far into saying it, but there it is.
That's all true, though.
Yeah.
All true.
Would you have bought Star Wars Battlefront 3?
If it wasn't made by EA, yes.
It's honestly like, I loved those Star Wars Battlefront games. I even had Star Wars Rogue Squadron, which was the PSP exclusive game.
Dude, the fucking OG ones. Who made the OG ones?
THQ published them.
God damn.
Dude.
Who? What was the studio? Because I like Dice. Dice can do some good work, but I think EA really fucked it. I'm blaming EA for that.
It was developed by Savage Entertainment. And it says publishers, the Walt Disney Company. I don't believe they were. Pandemic Studios, that's right. You remember this little logo? Pandemic? I love that.
Oh, yeah,
They made Mercenaries. They made The Saboteur. Saboteur is a great game if you guys have never played that game. And then they got shut down. They defunct in 2009 because I think they were owned by THQ. It was acquired by EA. In 2007, the studio was acquired by EA, who closed it down 2 years later in 2009, shortly after the completion of The Saboteur. The Saboteur is the last game. So there you go.
Damn.
Great studio. Solid studio. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's one last one here on this list, and I'll just say it here. An Avengers first-person shooter. Yes, really. THQ, THQ is the Avengers, so not Square.
I'm gonna stop you right here.
Yes.
And give you my answer now. It's gonna be a no.
You don't want a first-person
No.
Avengers game?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely.
THQ's The Avengers was a 4-player co-op RPG where players could team up as the core Avengers to take on the shape-shifting alien race, the Skrulls. The story was written by comic writer legend Brian Michael Bendis as loose
this bitch over the table real quick.
as a loose adaptation of his own Marvel Comics Secret Invasion. The game would feature characters of the large Marvel universe, as well as including the Fantastic Four, and even references to the X-Men. The game was shut down due to the high cost, even though it was nearly complete. According to Digino Gaming, one of the only functioning copies of the game belongs to Brian Michael Bendis himself, the guy who was creating it. But it was based on his story. So yeah, there it is. That's all of them from this list, and most of them, the ones that I cared about. And that's, yeah, canceled games. Some are canceled for a reason. Let's just say that. Some are canceled for sad reasons. We wish they would have been created. Any final words?
No.
Okay.
Bring back Scalebound,
Bring back Scalebound? Okay.
Yeah.
Phil Spencer himself said it was just not good.
Well, this is the first time I really gotta say it. Fuck Phil Spencer right now.
Well, for that?
Yeah, for that.
Oh, okay.
Don't talk about Papa Phil like that.
Hey, he's done a lot of good things that outweigh that decision.
Yeah, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Bitcade. Thank you so much for listening. If you guys listened to the whole entire thing, thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe to wherever you are listening. If you're listening to the audio version on podcasts, on iTunes, or on Podbean, please rate it. Please like it. Please say something nice about us. It really helps us get the word out for Bitcade and as well as the other shows that are on here. If you're on YouTube, hit subscribe and stay tuned because there's a lot of content coming to YouTube. And I think by the end of this, PAX will have happened. If I am correct on that. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the full episode will come out when PAX is over. So hopefully you checked out the videos, and hopefully you enjoyed PAX West 2021, and hopefully we did, because we'll be talking about it in the next episode. So get fucking strapped in, buddy. And you can follow me personally at Ryan A. Moore. You can follow him at
Sticky_Ash on Twitter.
And you can follow Tyler at
Pluvio 2eyes_ on Twitter.
And there you go. Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Good night, everybody.
Good night. I thought it was Pluvy Ho. Am I wrong?
Is it over?
Why, you got something to say?
Yeah, suck my fucking dick. I'm going to bed. Don't ever tell me 1 hour again. I swear to God, I will Batista bomb you through fucking packing peanuts.
That is definitely making it in the episode.
PC now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really far along.
Okay, well, I think it's time to eliminate a couple of these. So let's say you pick 3 and I pick 3, okay? And I'll go first since I did the first.
Pick 3 to eliminate?
Pick 3 to keep.
3 to keep.
I'm going to say Minecraft, Skyrim,